weekend. Hope you had a very nice weekend. I went for a moonlight hike with a few friends on Saturday, which was super fun. I used to do it on a regular basis, and I used to love it on a regular basis. And so I thought, it's quarantine, my birthday's coming, so I thought I'm not going to be able to do the cool, very crowded thing that I wanted to do. So I decided that would be one good alternative. Let me just check this here. Saturday. Yeah. Which was super fun. Good. All right. So now, because I also don't have my charger, I'm just going to close this and trust that all is well in the world of the stream. All right, let me put this back. Good. So anyway, super fun night. The other night we had, and it's funny. It was Saturday night, and I thought I researched what time the moon was supposed to rise, and it was later. And I thought, gosh, my wife and I were driving to this hike, and then all of a sudden we sort of looked, and there was this like big red orange moon. It was really gorgeous. It was really a super cool little thing. So anyway, I hope you had a nice weekend. Welcome to Monday Morning Yoga. This is yoga for runners, but really I put that in quotes because it's really anyone who kind of uses the legs, right? We stream simultaneously with the Malibu Half Marathon crew. So welcome to anyone who's joining us from that community. And today we're going to focus on some hamstrings, some calves, and I'm sorry, this is your hamstrings. These are your quads, and this is your calves. I might do a little shins too, but I ran yesterday for the first time in 2.5 weeks. Just 5 miles, a nice, easy, kind of slower run, 5 miles. And that might not sound like easy or slow, but it was great. For me, I'm sore because I haven't done it in a few weeks. But my knee, as those of you that may know, my knee was bothering me. It's really not. I feel it a little, but still, we're definitely on the up and up with the knee. So I was so happy to do a nice little 5-mile trail run yesterday with my good buddy Steve. And then just quickly, those of you that are joining us for the first time, we do these classes on a donation basis. So if you have the ability, it'd be great if you paid for your class. Send us a donation. You can do that through Venmo, and you can just Venmo me at Teddy McDonald. Simple. And then, or you could pay for your class. You go to 5 Point Yoga. This is our yoga studio. We're still officially shut down. And, but you could do that through signing up for Mind Body, signing up through there, or there's a little $15 suggested donation for your online class. All that is greatly appreciated. You can also become a monthly member. So it's kind of like a virtual studio. And whatever you feel like you can do, there's about 4 different memberships. Go to consciousendurance.com, consciousendurance.com, or you can just go to my website, teddymcdonald.com. Those are the announcements. And then you can join the community link, sign up for the newsletter, and then let's do some yoga. So go ahead and start with your feet about shoulder distance. Bring the palms together. Close your eyes, relax your shoulders, start breathing in and out of the nose. Nice deep breath. Let the shoulders drop down, let the top of the head float up. Good, set an intention for your practice. While you're doing that, drop the head to the left side, nice easy neck stretch. And then switch sides. So your intention is whatever you want it to mean. Could be releasing stress, healing, strengthening, Drop the arms from there. A few shoulder, neck rolls one direction. So you got the knee update. Excuse me. Opposite direction. You get the Liam update. So our little guy slept 5 nights in a row. He's 13 months, for those of you that don't know. Back to the center. And then shoulder rolls, forward and back, forward and back. Last week, he slept 5 nights in a row. And I finally was like, oh my God, this is what it's like to sleep full nights, more than 1 or 2 in a row. And that felt awesome. And then he was up. I want to go and take the arms up, interlace, turn the palms up. Friday and Saturday was so bad. He just cried and cried and cried and cried. It was totally inconsolable. And at one point, Lauren was like, I think after he cries for half an hour, we got to call the doctor. I was like, don't we have some child's Tylenol? Maybe we should just give him some Tylenol. So we gave him a little bit of Tylenol, and he was totally fine. He sort of fell back asleep for about 4 hours and then woke up again. We gave him a little bit more Tylenol. He slept for a couple more hours. But then Lauren checked, fold over to one side, and there were 4 teeth poking through. Poor guy was just teething. And, oh, God, I mean, imagine that. You got these teeth coming through. You got some, I don't know about you, but when I was a kid, they used to just use wild turkey, whiskey. Put whiskey on your gums before you went to bed. Other side, same thing. At least we're just doing children's Tylenol, not whiskey. But anyway, last night, he slept 12 solid hours. First, I think there's only been one other time that he slept 12 hours. It's crazy. First time I've had a 93 in my sleep score. Lean back and then fold down, forward, stretch. In months, I cannot even tell you how long it's been. So hang forward, and again, today's focus is going to be on the legs. So bend your knees slightly here, drop the head down, grab the elbows, stretch. If you're more flexible, right away you can straighten the legs. Right, that would be fine. If you're less flexible or your back is tighter, then you start with the knees bent. I like to just start with them bent. Let everything relax here. Breathe. You can sway. Sway a little side to side here. As you sway side to side, you go a little deeper into one side and a little deeper into the other side. Right. Good. And then back to the center, and then clasp the hands back behind you. Interlace the fingertips, stretch the shoulders. We did shoulders. I think on Saturday we focused on shoulders, Friday or Saturday. So good. A few more breaths here. Good. Now I want you right away to release the hands, and I want you to squat down. Support this, so use your hands, bring your hand back, however you need to get there for your squat. And whether you're on the toes or have the feet flat, either way, totally fine. Palms together, sit up tall, just a few breaths. I want you to be aware of how it feels, how your ankles feel, calves feel, knees, quads, and obviously not so much the hamstrings because you won't really feel them here. From here, go ahead and interlace all the fingers, reach them forward, lift up. One more inhale, and then fold. Clasp the hands back behind you, interlace the fingertips, stretch the shoulders. Same thing again, release that. Go ahead, come on down. You're going to go right down into that squat again. And again, this is really a test, a little stretch obviously for the lower back and quads and knees. And calves. If you can lean forward there, lean a bit forward. A little kind of rocking forward and back. Good, then interlace all the fingers again. Reach the arms up, stretch. One more inhale, and fold down, clasp the hands back, stretch the shoulders. Good. And one more time, release that, come on down, same thing. And again, whether you're on the toes or need the feet wide, or you can have the feet straight, it doesn't matter so much, just breathe. Feel it out for you, stretch. Good, interlace all the fingers except the index fingers, reach the arms up, stretch. One more inhale, fold down as you exhale, clasp the hands back, stretch. Good. And then release that, and let's turn open to the sides. You can just make the feet wider on your mat there. But what we're gonna do is stretch the hips a little bit. So bend over to your right side, inner thigh stretch. If you've been doing this with us, you know this. Sink down, but we're gonna add a little something to it. So a few breaths here, and then over, other side, same thing. So as you sink down, as you bend that, left or right leg, wherever you are, you wanna feel it, inner thigh. All right, breathe. Good, other side. Same thing. This time we'll do our little twist, so lengthen the upper body up, turn up, twist. You can wrap that arm back behind you, lengthen the upper body, turn. One more breath. Good, and then switch it. Same thing, other side. Lengthen the upper body up, turn up. Drop that arm back, lengthen and twist and turn. One more breath. Good, so now the added bonus here. Come down, bend the knee. And then as you bend, you're straightening this opposite leg so that, look at that, a little bit better like that. All right, so there's your stretch, hamstrings. All right, you can kind of lean over to that. Good. And then switch it, same thing, hamstrings, leaning over. Tight hamstrings. And now, we're sort of gonna go side to side. So a little doom, all right? Notice that I'm supporting this with my hands. My knees are not 100%. So if you could do this, right? You could kind of go back and forth like this. But the idea is to get the hamstring stretch and the hip stretch each time. So you do wanna go low if possible. Couple more. And release. Hang forward and have the legs wide as you hang forward and breathe. Just make sure you guys can see what I think you're seeing. Yeah, that's okay. Good. Just hang and stretch. And take the legs a little wider. We're going to do kind of a wide-legged downward facing dog. So what I want you to do is bring the hands forward and move the hips back slightly. This should go deep into a stretch, kind of like hamstrings back there. But sink back and breathe. Good, one more breath. And then walk the feet back together. Good, engage the abdomen, slowly roll your way up. Nice big inhale, lift the arms up. Hands together at the heart, exhale. So we'll go through a few sun salutations, arms up when you're ready, inhale. Fold down forward as you exhale. Extend the spine as you inhale, step back as you exhale, top of a push-up. Hold it here, breathe, pause, a few breaths. Looking forward, chaturanga halfway, we'll do some yoga push-ups. Press back up, lower, push-up, lower, push-up. 2 more. 1 more. Good. Drop to the knees. Let's do a little cat and cow tilt here. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. 1 more. Inhale and exhale. Back to neutral. Lift the feet side to side. Shoulder and hip together. Shoulder and hip together. Shoulder and hip together. Shoulder and hip together. Couple more. Good. Left leg back, right arm forward. Left leg back, right arm forward. Hold. Breathe. Good. Then bend that leg. Reach for the foot. And then we get a little quad stretch here by pulling that foot toward the butt. Right? And then lifting the knee up. So you get the quad stretch first. Keeping that left shoulder extended. Then you switch it so you can grab maybe the foot or the ankle. Get up taller. So now it's more hip, spine, and shoulder. Breathe. Good. Leg back, arm forward, lift up. And release. Round the back, tuck the tailbone. Back to neutral. Other side. Oh man, my hips. My hips. I feel them. Left leg, left arm forward, right leg back. Hold. Then you can grab the foot. First, we're going to do that quad stretch. So pull down, stretching the quadricep. Breathe. Then lift up tall. Good. Leg back, arm forward, lift. And release. Child's pose for a moment. So child's pose, great quad stretch. Right? As you sit down into child's pose, lengthen the upper body, arms back, and just pause. Good. And then downward facing dog. Come on up, tuck the toes. Downward facing dog. Take your first moment here in down dog. Bend the left leg, push the right heel down. Back of the heel, back of the Achilles, back of the calves. Tilt the sit bone up so you really isolate the hamstrings. A few more breaths. Then switch sides, same thing.
Good. Straightening both legs. Come up on the toes when you're ready. Walk softly to the hands. Extend that spine as you inhale. Look forward. Fold as you exhale. Stretch. All the way up. Nice big inhale. Hands to the heart. Exhale. Arms up again. Inhale. Fold down forward as you exhale. Extend the spine. Inhale. Step back. Exhale. Easy one. Vinyasa. Lower down to the knees. All the way to the mat. Gentle back bend. Heart opens. Check in with your spine. Make sure it feels okay. And then reverse it. Downward facing dog. Hold and breathe. Tilt in down dog. Tilt the sit bone up. So I was talking to some people this weekend about this. So you really want to bend the knees and extend that lower back. You can get the shoulders too, but I'd rather see your lower back long than your lower back rounded and legs straight. Sometimes tighter folks, they'll straighten the legs, but then round the back. Come up on the toes again. Walk softly or hop forward. Extending that spine as you inhale, folding as you exhale. All the way up, nice big inhale. Hands to the heart, exhale. 2 more cycles, arms up again. Inhale, fold down, forward, exhale. Extend the spine, inhale. Step back or jump. Chaturanga. Upward facing dog, easy stretch. Downward facing dog, hold. Breathe. Good. Up on the toes again. Walk or jump forward. Extend that spine as you inhale. Fold as you exhale. All the way up. Nice big inhale. Hands to the heart. Exhale. Arms up again. Inhale. Right away. Fold down, forward. Exhale. Extend the spine. Inhale. Step or jump. Vinyasa. Lower down. Upward facing dog. Easy. Shoulders back. Heart forward. And then downward facing dog. Right away, right leg up behind you, hold it up. Breathe, stretching the left leg. And then shoulders over the wrists, knee to the nose, abdomen really strong. Lift it back and up. And then forward knee to your left side, twist. Back and up. Forward up to your right. Back and up. All the way forward. Stay here, a few breaths. Well, actually, we're going to do about 15 or 20 times. If you had blocks, you could use them, but you don't need them. Straighten the leg, bend the knee. You do 5 like that, straighten and bend. So you get the hip flexor too, and quad in the back. Straighten the leg and bend. 2 more like that. Inhale, exhale, inhale. Exhale. Now we do external rotation. So as you inhale, roll to the outside of the foot. As you exhale, bend the knee, sink the hips. Inhale and exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Couple more. 1 more. Good. Now internal rotation. Internal rotation, hips to the right, bend the knee. Internal rotation, hips to the right, bend the knee. Internal rotation, hips to the right, bend the knee. 2 more. Good. And then warrior 1, just 1 big breath. Come on up. Inhale. Hands down to the floor. Take the leg back. Vinyasa. So just those movements, just those 15 little hip hamstrings, left leg up behind you, stretches will help open up the hamstrings. I do that pretty much every day. Left leg up, breathe. One more inhale. Shoulders over the wrists, knee to the nose, abdomen strong. Lift it back and up, and then forward knee to your right. backing up. Forward up to your left. Backing up. All the way forward. Stay here. Blocks or not. Straighten that front leg, flex the foot. Bend the knee, drop the hips. 5 times in each variation. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. A couple more. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Good. And then external rotation, so roll to the outside and then bend the knee. Roll to the outside of the heel and bend the knee. So you're feeling this on the outside of the hamstrings as you roll to the outside. Bend the knee. A couple more. Roll. Bend the knee. And outside of the heel. Bend the knee. Inside of the heel. Bend the knee. Inside of the heel. Bend the knee. Inside of the heel. Bend the knee. And 2 more. 1 more. Good. And then warrior 1, turn the back foot. Come on up, inhale. Hands down, take the leg back. Vinyasa, lower down. Upward facing dog, downward facing dog. Hold it here, breathe. I'm just gonna do like 3 rounds of sun salutation B. 1 more breath. And then up on the toes, walk or jump. Extend the spine as you inhale, fold as you exhale. Chair pose, bend the knees, reach the arms, hold it up. 30 seconds. Sink a little bit lower. One more inhale, and then stand up, hands together at the heart. Exhale, big full breath. So sun salutation B, we'll do 3 rounds, and just do the best you can. Chair pose first, inhale. Fold as you exhale. Linking it together, warming up, halfway up, inhale. Step back or jump back, exhale. Vinyasa, lower. Upward facing dog. Down dog. Right leg, take it up behind you, bring it forward. Warrior 1, reach up, inhale. Hands down, leg back. Vinyasa, lower down. Upward facing dog. Down dog, left side, take it up. Bring it forward. Inhale deep, warrior 1, reach up. Hands down, take the leg back. Vinyasa, lower. Downward facing dog, hold and breathe. One more breath. Extend the shoulders, lift the tailbone, press the thighs back. And then up on the toes again, walk or hop forward. Extending that spine as you inhale, folding as you exhale. Chair pose, bend the knees, reach the arms, inhale. Stand, hands together at the heart. Exhale, big full breath. Chair pose again, inhale. Fold, exhale. 2 more cycles, halfway up, inhale. Step or jump. Chaturanga, upward facing dog. Down dog. Right leg, lift it up. Bring it forward. Warrior 1, reach up, inhale. Hands down to the floor. Take the leg back. Vinyasa, lower. Inhale. Exhale, left side, take it up. Bring it forward. Warrior 1, reach up, inhale. Hands down. Take the leg back. Vinyasa, lower. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Hold it and breathe. One more breath. Up on the toes again. Walk or jump. Extend the spine, inhale. Fold as you exhale. Chair pose from there, inhale. Stand, hands together at the heart. Exhale, big full breath again. One more round, should already have that heat built up a little bit. Chair pose, excuse me, fall down. Forward. I don't know what it's like to get so much sleep. Halfway up, step or jump back. Chaturanga, upward facing dog. Down dog, like before, right leg up. And bring it forward. Warrior one, reach up. Hands down, leg back, vinyasa, lower. Heart opens, shoulders back. Down dog, left side, take it up. Bring it forward. Warrior one, reach up, inhale. Hands down, take the leg back. Vinyasa, lower. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Right away, drop to the knees, point the toes back. You're gonna sit back onto the heels. So as long as your knees are okay, and the top of your feet, if you're tighter, oftentimes I know a lot of runners, the top of the feet here, there's a space in between. If there's a space in between the floor and the top of your ankle here, then it just means that it's tighter. So it's probably a deep stretch. If that's the case, just stay there, hang. Feel this stretch here on the quads. Also, you could be here and just think, Ted, this is totally not a stretch at all. I don't know what you're talking about. In which case, then you lean back. So lean back and lift the knees up, right? And find this stretch. This is all about exploring your body and where it actually, I feel like you can use a little stretch. So this is the front side of the shins here. If that's okay, push the heart up, drop the head back and breathe. One more breath. And then all the way down forward. Come up onto the hands and knees, lift the feet, roll your ankles. Roll those ankles a little bit. Tuck the toes, we're gonna go back again. So this time, tucking the toes, kind of looks like that. Tuck those toes and sit back onto the heels. So this is more foot stretch. However, the foot is connected to the Achilles tendon, which is connected to the calf, which is connected to the back of the knee, which is connected to the hamstrings, which is connected to the glutes, right? So it's all the posterior chain, right? So it's all the back side of that leg there. Interlace the fingertips, turn the palms forward, and reach up. And if one piece of that whole posterior chain or anterior chain, right? Whatever, one part of it just gets tight for one reason, it's going to pull on all the other pieces, so you might have pain in one place, but it's not necessarily from that place. It could be from another place. So that's something that's really important to just be aware of. Lift up, lean back, last couple breaths on the feet. One more inhale, and then forward. Onto the hands and knees, lift the feet, and again, wiggle those toes. Downward facing dog from there. Downward facing dog, come on up. And a little extra attention here in downward facing dog. In fact, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm just gonna turn myself. You guys can stay where you are, but I want you to see the profile of this. So the idea is that we're gonna be able to see when I'm bending one leg and then straightening the other leg, right? So, in fact, I'm also gonna do this. Stand by, downward facing dog still. This is actually gonna make it a little bit better for you to see. So, the idea is bending your left leg and pressing the leg straight, right leg straight first, and just hold. So whether your heel goes down or not doesn't matter. But what I want you to do is think about the back of this leg. So back of the knee, you might feel it mostly. And then I want you to take your sit bone and tilt it up. So when you do that, the difference is this to that, if you can see that. And that, right? That's kind of not tilted, heel is down, back is kind of rounding a little bit, but then if I tilt the tailbone up, oh my goodness, it pulls on the back of the leg, so it gets a much deeper stretch. Now go ahead and switch sides, same thing. So think about first, heel down, lower leg, heel down, Achilles, calves, breathe, and then tilt your tailbone up. So you're pulling, it's a concept called opposing action in yoga. So you want you to tilt up and really stretch the back of the leg and breathe. If at any point your arms get tired, you can just drop to the knees and take a little break. But we're going to go back to the other side, and this is going to be a little bit more subtle change. So first I want you to do the same thing you did before, heel down. So now my left leg is bent, my right leg is straight. And now I want you to bend the right leg just ever so gently. So let me see if I can get this leg out of the way. Yeah. So that, it's a slight bend. That's it right there. So slight bend, right? Now I'm locking it straight, and then slight bend. When you get the slight bend, you can kind of push down, and it's gonna be more lower leg. So there's gonna be more calf, more Achilles with the leg slightly bent. Then with the leg slightly bent, you can also begin, after you focused on the bottom of the leg first, you can begin to focus on the hamstrings by tilting the pelvis up a bit and breathe. And then when you have all that happening, you got the lower leg focus, you got the hamstrings focus. Now just start to drive the whole entire leg straight. Keep the tilt in the pelvis and breathe. Don't crunch your face like I'm doing. And then release, switch sides. So again, first, sort of get in there and breathe, see how it feels. Then bend the knee ever so slightly. When you bend the knee ever so slightly, my heel comes up, which is fine. You want to work the calf and the Achilles here and breathe, just kind of sink in there. And then start to, once you got that, you go, okay, yeah, I feel it in the back lower part of my leg. And then tilt the pelvis up. And breathe. So now you get not just the lower, but back of the knees, back of the hamstrings. Breathe. Good. And then driving that leg totally straight. Very good. All right, and then I'm gonna switch back. So you can just pause, regular downward facing dog from there. And what we're gonna do next is take the right leg up, bring it forward, turn the back foot. Warrior one, push the front leg straight, hands to the waist. I'm gonna step the back foot closer and angle the back foot forward. So from here, what you're gonna do is grab your elbows behind you, lift the upper body up, and then start to fold down and stretch. Breathe. Again, right into the hamstrings. Oh my goodness. And just hang and breathe and stretch. I know it's funny, the hamstrings, I remember thinking, I'm just stretching. Why are my hamstrings so sore? I'm just stretching in yoga. But the truth is, you're working, right? You're actually working. Go ahead and release the arms, take them to the floor, or if you had blocks and you needed some support, you could definitely do this here as you stretch. But the idea, in the reason part of the reason you're sore is soreness comes from the rebuilding. You do these exercises, stress, and you create these little micro tears in your body, and then the body needs to rebuild. That is a state of growth, regeneration. That's what we want. That's why you want to be a little bit sore most of the time, if you don't mind. Sinking down, breathing deep, a couple more breaths. Now what I want you to do is that those of you that are more flexible, flex that foot, so lift it up. It'll go much deeper into the hamstrings. Breathe. Good, and then just for a little thing, I want you to lift the back leg up. Oh, okay, that's it. Now, left foot is down, right leg steps back. Come on up. You can come up to kind of a modified warrior one there, inhale. And then just bring the hands back behind you. Grab the elbows. If you wanted to, you could bring the palms together, reverse namaste. We're not really going into that right now. Lift the heart up, shoulders back and down, fold down, forward, stretch, and breathe. So the back foot is angled forward. Notice I just adjusted my back foot because it's a little too far back and it's a little angled out to the right. Here, again, and sometimes I'll play with bending the leg, a little straightening the leg, because sometimes straightening the leg and just holding it there is just too intense. But a slight bend works out for me. But then I try to straighten it and breathe. A couple more breaths. Good. Release the arms to the floor, to the blocks, lengthening the upper body as you sink down and stretch. It's a big forward bend too. A big forward bend. Just keep breathing. Good. And then from here, lean forward, lift that back leg, lift it up and breathe and stretch. One more inhale. Oh, and then step back. Vinyasa, lower down. Upward facing dog, inhale, or cobra. Maybe cobra is even better just because of the forward bending. It's not great to go into a super deep back bend right away. So sometimes just a nice cobra pose. And then back to child's pose from there. Child's pose for a moment. Amazing how quickly time goes when you have when you have an agenda. Of course, you have an agenda, and then the clock is like rapidly evaporating. So now we got to go to our quads. What I want you to do is take Virasana. Well, let me give you the easy one first. Easy one, toes together, knees apart, sitting down. Depending on your knees, depending on the tops of your feet, depending on your quads, this is usually the easiest version of this pose. If you're okay, all that other stuff is okay. Knees closer together, feet apart. I feel like we've done this recently. You can take the calves, especially if you have these big beefy calves, then you gotta take them out to the side, which allows the bend in the knee just to be healthier, so you're not stretching any ligaments, which is exactly what I think I did to mess up my knee. Anyway, so from here, I'm supporting myself here with my arms, so I'm not going all the way down. There was a time where it was easy for me just to get down, and not only would I get all the way down meaning butt to the floor, but then I would lie back. Right now, because I'm still not 100% with this knee, it is I'm gonna say 99.6%, but you just don't wanna mess with it, right? It needs to be 100%. After my run yesterday and today, I feel so much better. Like there's not really any pain. And the last time I ran was 2.5 weeks ago. Yeah, it was 3 Thursdays ago. And then yesterday, which was Sunday. But after that previous run, I definitely felt some swelling and felt like the knee just wasn't 100%. So now I don't feel that today. Thank you. Sink a little bit lower, a couple more breaths. Good. And then slowly come on up. Tuck the toes again. Actually, downward facing dog. It's just going to be a nice little counter stretch for that. So take a moment, bend the left leg, push the right heel down, big stretch. And again, this is really a good calf stretch. and then switch sides. And I'm going to show you one more little calf stretch here too. So now I want you to step, this is my left leg forward. Doesn't matter which one. I'm going to give you a little bit, and I'm going to turn. You can keep yourself straight. But the idea is to stay here, keep that heel down, and just lean forward, right? So you might have to take that knee up, but just lean forward. See what the angle on your ankle is. And then when you look at that, see how far forward your knee is from your foot. So if you just drop the plumb line down, how far is it? A couple inches. That means you have some flexibility in this ankle. It's not for everyone. There's some people that can't get their ankle past 90 degrees. That's not good for the calf of the lower leg and the calf and the Achilles there. But keep breathing, a few more breaths. Good. And then we're going to switch it. Switch sides. Same thing. So calves are typically harder to stretch if you're not in down dog, or the one where you're at the wall or you're kind of off a step. If you could let your heel drop off a step, that's a really good calf stretch. Go ahead now. Sink forward here a little bit and breathe. And sink in there and just stretch. Now ultimately, you would want to have pretty severe angle in here if you can. So you'd want to be comfortable. This is one of the things, not all, but one of the things that's going to determine whether or not your heels will go down and downward facing dog, which by the way is not a goal. It could be a goal, but don't sacrifice your healthy back just by pushing the heel down. That's not okay. A few more breaths. Good. All right. Downward facing dog. And let's see what happens here. Down dog, take a moment, bend the left leg, push the right heel down, stretch it. And then switch sides and stretch. And then we're going to go back to our squat. Remember that? Come forward right in the beginning. I'm going to bet that this is going to be a little bit better than it was. So what I want you to do is have your feet sometimes we do 3 versions of this, but we're not going to do the first one. So this is the second one, where your feet are sort of half on the mat, half off the mat, and then you start to kind of move a bit side to side like this here. Right. So this is a lot of hip action. So opening up the hips and the adductors. But also notice that each time I lean forward, my heel comes up. That's because my leg won't bend anymore. The ankle won't bend anymore. But that's what you're trying to do, is get it to stretch. If you look at some of these pictures, now come forward. And by the way, if squat is tricky for you and you do have a block or books or something like that, you can also always do this. This is like a modified squat position. Just make sure I don't. There we go. So it's totally fine to be here, and then eventually you'd work yourself down here, and then eventually you'd work the block completely out of the way. But what was I going to say? Oh, if you look at some pictures and then rock a little side to side, so kind of lean to the left and then lean to the right. Back in the old days, like I think his name was Adam Swanson. Or Dave Swanson was the Ashtanga guy. You look at the book that he published 20 years ago. It's like a guide, an Ashtanga guide. And the guy's ankle flexion is so crazy. It's just so unbelievable. And the thing is, if you're practicing 2.5 hours a day, that's going to happen for, 6 days a week. That's one of the things. We have to really be careful about, comparing ourselves to other people in any realm, but flexibility in yoga practice, for instance. I do this 6 days a week and more, all right? I have a couple private clients that I see. All right, now go ahead and just lean back. Oh, actually, you know what I want to do? Is I want to go back into our stretch here. So sometimes I'm doing this 10, 12, 15 times a week. So I would never expect somebody else who does it once a week or 3 times a week even, or 5 times a week even, to be able to do this stuff. Right? Sit up nice and tall, shoulders relaxed, breath smooth. But it doesn't matter. The point is, as long as you put in the effort, then you're going to find some improvements. Stretching the front side of the shins here. A few more breaths. Can't believe it's gone so fast. Where does the time go? Oh my gosh, I can't believe it's already time to wrap it up. All right, downward facing dog. Let's do a nice easy pigeon. Oh, my legs feel better though. Right leg forward, pigeon. I hope yours do. Let's just do about 90 seconds on each side. Ready, set, go. 90 seconds, outer. So this kind of can get into the hamstrings for some people. It's really more glutes, but it can also get into the quads a little bit. Just breathe. Find your breath and smooth, even breaths. Yeah, so that whole comparison thing, like, oh, he could do that on balance, I can't. Well, I mean, remember, it's been 24 years I've been doing this stuff on a consistent basis, multiple times a week. So it's not, I would never expect anybody to be able to do some stuff unless, they've been doing it that much. Like that guy who I talked to, was, I actually never talked to him, but who wrote that book, I'm sure was practicing 2 to 3 hours a day, sometimes twice a day for 6 days a week. That for sure will totally change your body. Just like, for me, obviously when, I'm healthy and have time, I'm running more, biking more, swimming more, and those have effects on your body. Right now, I'm not as fast as I normally am, so I can't compare myself to my friend who's way faster than me because it wouldn't make any sense, right? Last couple breaths. And I know there's a trap. There's always that mental trap of like, oh, I'm not good enough, or oh, switch legs, or I should be somewhere I'm not. This harkens back to Brian Kest, my first ever yoga teacher. Great guy. And he would always say, since when is it not okay to be where you're at? And I thought that was such a profound experience, right? Like today, especially, I think I was mentioning this, I don't know if it was in class or not, but somewhere, the power of now. And it became this whole big thing, and everybody, it's all about the now. It's all about being in the moment. Meditation is all about being in the moment. There's no other place you can possibly be besides the moment. You can't. You cannot. You can't be in 2 places at once. And if you're not in the moment, then, you're not alive, because the only thing that you have is the moment, right? So there's like this weird contradictory thing. Now, it's only a semantic thing, because the truth is you can be thinking about the future, you can be thinking about the past, you could be thinking about something else, but you cannot, just don't get caught up in, look, oh, I'm not really focused, I'm not in the moment. Well, you're in the moment, you might not be focused, but you're in the moment. I think there's 2 different things. Like right now, here I am. Right now, here you are. So we're in the moment. Now, what am I thinking about? Right now, I'm thinking about talking about this, like I'm present here in the moment. But maybe if I just kind of chilled out, stopped talking, I would start thinking about the fact that I have to pack up after this, and then I have to go to my next session, and then I have to pack from our trip, and right, like those kinds of things would, as opposed to being here, breathing, staying present, feeling the sensations, right? Accepting where I am in the pose versus thinking I should be somewhere else. It's a very important piece of information. Come on up from there. Because I think there's there is a level of stress that people have because they just don't accept the situation. Shake the legs out, reach the arms up, fold forward. You know, if you continually have this internal fight going on inside, I mean, that's just stressful, right? And the alternative is, or one alternative is accepting the situation for what it is, and then allowing yourself to sort of, you know, breathe and continue that forward motion to help yourself get to where you want to be. Like set a goal and do that. Good. So you could stay here, or we're going to roll back and roll up. Take the legs up and over the head for plow pose. So lean forward, roll up, roll back. Legs up from there, a few breaths. Legs wide, flex the feet. Bend the knees, soles of the feet together. Legs up from there, and then down over the head slowly. Come on down. We'll take our final twist. Pull the right knee in, give it a good squeeze. Roll to one side. Good, then switch sides. Same thing. Back to the center, shavasana. Final rest. Feet flop open, arms down by the side, eyes closed, breath smooth, 2 or 3 minutes. Take a nice deep inhale. And exhale.
Go ahead and bring your left hand to your heart center, right hand to your belly. Pause for a moment. And then bend the knees, roll to your right side, just take your time. And then make your way up to a seat. Comfortable seated position. A little short moment to close. Sitting up nice and tall. Palms up, eyes closed, breath smooth. Bring the palms together at the heart. Just take a moment of gratitude. Gratitude for every breath. Namaste. Namaste, my friend. Thank you very much for showing up. Thank you for all your continued support. And remember, support your local businesses. Stay safe, stay healthy, and we'll see you right back here tomorrow. And then over the course of the next week and a half, we'll be at different locations around the country. So I'm excited about that. My family and I are taking a little drive. So, but I may miss one day live on Wednesday, my actual birthday. But then again, I might do it. It depends on what happens. All right.